And we are back with Greensboro Mayor Nancy Vaughan answering your questions. Remember, you can text in your questions anonymously. The number's at the bottom of the screen, 336-379-5775. All right, so this question is, what is the city doing to attract grocery stores, laundromats, and pharmacies and restaurants to East Greensboro?
So we know that East Greensboro is a food desert and that they also need other places where they can shop. The city, we do not offer incentives to retailers and stores like that, but we certainly are willing to partner, especially when it comes to grocery stores. Unfortunately, I think East Greensboro gets a bad rap, that there isn't enough money in East Greensboro for retailers or food stores to come in. You know, people in East Greensboro, unfortunately, are spending their money outside of East Greensboro, and I wish that retailers would realize that, you know, when you have a group of people in any area, they're going to be spending money. They should be able to spend it in their neighborhood. Unfortunately, because there aren't the resources there, they go to other places. But that is all driven by, you know, the private economy.
So when you say we don't give incentives or we don't give money to attract businesses and stuff, people would say like, yeah, but money does come to like those to bring people in.
So there's a difference between retailers and employers. And yes, retailers do employ people, but they don't usually employ a couple hundred or at above the median income. And so when we give incentives, we have three things that we look for. And one is, what will their overall investment be? How many people are they going to hire? And at what wage are they hiring? So normally you're looking at a large employer like a Boom or a Toyota. That wouldn't apply necessarily to a pharmacy or a grocery store. We have helped grocery stores in the past. We invested pretty heavily in the Renaissance Co-op on Phillips Avenue. Unfortunately, that didn't work. And we also were willing to invest with a new Piggly Wiggly over on Florida Street, but that had never gotten off the ground, and that was just, I think, because the investor couldn't make it work.
Mm-hmm. Okay. This question is, why doesn't the city take down dangerous trees before they fall, causing traffic and utility outages?
So it really depends on where the tree is located. We don't take trees down on private property, and most property in the city is private property. If we are aware of something on city property, yes, we will always come and take it down as soon as we are notified that it could cause a problem. Now, Duke Energy, they come in and they look at power lines, and I think about every 3 years they come in and do a mass cutting. And unfortunately, people usually do not like the way that Duke Energy trims trees. A few years ago, we did work an agreement with Duke Energy that when they were going to come in a neighborhood, that they would allow the neighbors advance notice so that they could employ their own landscapers to trim the trees. That way, they might do a better job or a more aesthetic job than Duke Energy does.
Okay. Someone is asking, what is the new update on the Hebrew Academy? I see a parking lot full of cars.
So there's really no update since the last time that we spoke. And I think a month to 6 weeks ago, they had announced that I believe it was being switched to a cold status, which meant that they were not expecting children anytime in the near future. I believe that they said that we would get a 60-day notice, that they would keep employees on the property, especially for maintenance and security reasons. I've not seen a lot of cars out there recently, but I don't drive by it every day. But at this point, there is no anticipation of having any unaccompanied minors there anytime soon.
Okay. This person is asking, why do some parking lots get paved and repaired and some in certain neighborhoods don't, like the Dollar General right off of Cone Boulevard?
So parking lots, again, are private property, and so the city does not pave parking lots unless it's a city property like a recreation center or a police station, fire station. But that is up to the private property owner to pave parking lots. Now, we did get involved in a parking lot in East Greensboro, I think within the last 2 months, because they didn't have a pothole, they actually had a crater. And so we went in and code enforcement was able to cite that parking lot, and that really incentivized the owner to come out and fix that crater and do some work to the parking lot. But that is up to the private property.
So maybe the takeaway there is, if there is a parking lot that you think needs to have some attention, maybe you call the city and see if there's a code enforcement person that can go and look at that.
It would have to be significant, a significant pothole.
Okay. All right. We have one more segment of you asking your questions and the mayor answering those questions. 336-379-5775.